Welcome to Tech This Way.
Hi, Chen Chow.
Hi, Amran.
Thank
Good
you
to
very much for coming.
My pleasure, my honor. Thanks a lot for having me.
No worries. Always good to see a familiar face. So today's session really is just to find out more about yourself and then more about Fave. But before we even start all that, right?
Yeah.
Why don't you help describe what Fave is as compared to the bank wallets or the other wallets that's around in here?
Good. Yeah. So I think maybe just do a bit of describing. All right. So I think for e-wallets, most of the e-wallets in town, whether GrabPay, whether Touch and Go, whether Boost, etc. Right. So I think those e-wallets basically people can deposit money inside, and people use the money inside. Right. So whereas for Fave, we are actually a merchant digital platform. We're actually not an e-wallet. So what we do is basically we help to digitize the restaurants or the retailers. So that's what we focus on. And payment is one of the many functions that we do.
Okay. So you're not just a wallet, you are actually a merchant digitization platform.
Yeah, we are actually not even a wallet. So we work with wallet. Right now in Malaysia, we work with Boost. Singapore, we work with GrabPay. Initially, we work with OVO.
Okay, so one way to look at it is you are actually a product for merchants, for
Yes.
shop owners, shopkeepers.
Yes.
That allows them, beyond other things, also to receive payments through wallets.
Yeah, so I think a few things that we do. One is, let's say, payments. We are agnostic whether people paying using credit card, debit card, online banking, e-wallets, even AirAsia points.
Okay.
So those are payment acceptance. And other things that we are doing is basically helping them to bring new customers, retention of customers. So new customers are Fave deals, which is similar like the Groupon style. The retention of customers, basically Fave Pay. So basically when you go to a restaurant to eat, you get a cashback for next visit back to the same restaurant. Could be the same outlet or same brand or same chain. And then the other things that we do is digital gift cards. So we call it e-cards. So basically think of it like a Starbucks store card. Store value cards where you basically pay 50 ringgit to get a 60 ringgit value, and basically you can use it at the particular restaurants.
Okay, so before we go deeper into that, right? Because it sounds like to me at the top of my head, there sounds to be a lot of overlaps between that and a wallet, right? But before we even go into all that and you help explain and make us all understand this, let's go back a little bit about yourself.
Okay.
How does somebody get into the space of digitizing retail merchants?
Yeah, so I think for myself, I started my career in Accenture.
Same
as Amran.
Sounds like everybody's from Accenture.
Yeah. So I think, I was an analyst when I think Amran, you were a senior manager there at that time.
Yeah, way back then.
Yeah, so then after that I went to Job Street. So I think that was when I joined Job Street in 2008, that time when they're no longer that startup, right?
Right.
So they were
Did you go to Job Street to look for a job and then Job Street gave you a job?
Interestingly not. I was actually went to eat a dinner. MIT alumni dinner, which I was not even an alumni.
Right.
And during the dinner, coincidentally, Kayip, who was one of the co-founder of Job Street, sat next to me, and we chatted from there. And then from there, he connected me with the Job Street folks, and then from there, I joined.
So what was it about that conversation with him that made you interested with something like Job Street?
I think during his conversation, we actually didn't even talk about working at Job Street or anything. We were talking about very generic topics. And then I think he brought me for a lunch one day with Suresh, which is the COO of Job Street at that time. So I think that sort of triggered the first process. Then from there, met up. Mark was the founder at the time, and then met with Albert, the CTO, and a few others. So I think that sort of started that process through.
But what was it about the role itself that was enticing to you?
Actually, at that time, what I agreed to join, to take care of fresh graduates to the market. So I thought that from Accenture was a consulting, you basically to help solve clients' problem. And I think here is basically helping people to get a job. Okay. So for me, actually, when I first joined Job Street, actually the first year, I spent most of my time going to campuses, giving talks, people improve their resume, prepare people for interviews. So that made me feel like more aligned to my personal values.
Okay, more fulfilling.
Yes.
To you, helping people out to get jobs. Okay.
So that was in my Job Street role. And then...
what year was that?
That was 2008 to 2011.
Okay. So that was about 9 years ago.
Yeah. And then from there, got 2011, when Group Small got acquired by Groupon.
Okay.
So that time I sent SMS message to Joel and Kylie, the founders, that congratulate them for selling their company, right?
Yeah.
So
So you knew those guys before?
I met them at events.
Okay.
So know them some bit. I haven't really worked very closely, worked a bit with them, and ping them. And then a couple of weeks later, Joel basically Facebook messaged me, and middle of the night on Chinese New Year, first day, it's like, hey, free for supper. So I thought, I didn't think too much. I turned up for supper in my t-shirt, shorts, and slippers.
Okay. Thought it was a social thing, lah.
Yeah, that turned up my job interview.
Right.
Joel came with Anisha, and I got a job offer at that dinner.
Wow.
Supper.
Where was this? Like some mama somewhere, is it?
It was at Piccadilly, at the ground floor of Millennium Square, where I used to stay.
Right.
In PJ, yeah.
Okay. So they had a quick chat with you, and then what was it that they offered?
So I was supposed to join them as an inside sales. So basically telesales. Right. So that was where I agreed to join. And fortunately, I never actually became a telesales, inside sales for them. Right, for Groupon at the time. So basically, I had a 2-month notice period in JobStreet, which I served. At the end of the 2-month notice period, basically that role was no longer available.
Right.
So I basically for 3 weeks I was literally in the office helping out in different random stuff. Right, and basically at the end of week 3, Joe basically asked me out for lunch on a Friday.
But you were in with Groupon then, lah?
I read with him for 3 weeks, and he just during the conversation, he's like, "Oh, what do you think about being a COO?" So actually, at the time, I've never managed anyone, and actually no idea what it is. Then it was like, okay lah, sure. So that was how I took on the job.
Okay, it literally just landed on your lap.
Yeah, so I literally went on it, and then we came back to office. A couple hours later, he announced to the whole team, and that was how I got into that role.
Right. So what did you think why do you think he gave you that role? You must have done something really good in the first 3 weeks.
I think that I think I don't know. I never actually asked him fully on it, but I think that it's just sort of like during that few weeks we worked quite well together. Very different. I think he's very visionary, big picture. I'm very detailed, boring numbers.
So he's a operating officer.
Yeah. So that was how I think got pulled into it, and I think that sort of started that journey, lah. Right.
So how was that? Suddenly you landed yourself in a COO role into Groupon. So what was the job like?
So I think like basically, I think the first 3 weeks I was also basically working on random various stuff. At that time we were operating in a bungalow.
How many people were there?
At that time when I joined was 30 something.
Okay, fairly big already.
Yeah, so we were at a bungalow. The company was 3 months old, and literally we were just basically building any to scale. And I think basically growth rate was very fast. I think those days we were pretty much doubling every month.
The operating model itself from Groupon at that point was already established, right? So you knew what you had to do.
Yes.
You just had to go find the deals, lah.
Find the deals and produce it, and then list it, and then basically market it. And then get the transactions through. So at the time during those days in 2011, the digital marketing and the platform was done by Groupon.
Okay.
So we were basically doing the day-to-day running of the business.
So how was that structure? Just to help me understand. Into when you say a lot of those things happen from Groupon and then you guys do day-to-day. So
let's
what's
say
the relationship
example like from the biz dev side, that time we call it business consultant. Basically, we have a team who go out there to sign on the restaurant, retailers, and everything. So that part is done within us.
Right. And us is who? Groupon Malaysia.
Groupon Malaysia.
Okay.
And then also the operations. That means like serving the merchants, account management for merchants, customer service, editorial, put the pictures, write-ups,
right,
and all those kind of things. So those were all done within us.
Okay.
So what's the part that done by Groupon globally is like digital marketing, the Facebook ads, Google ads, the platform design.
So where were they from? Where were they based?
So that time was Berlin.
Okay. So they didn't have actually a local, a regional office. It actually was direct to Berlin.
Berlin, yeah, at that time. So that in 2011. So basically, Groupon acquired CityDeal from the Samuel brothers, who was a Rocket Internet. And that time they were operating in Berlin. So in 2011, we were working pretty closely with them.
Okay.
And then only in the 2012, 2013, that gradually the US get involved and transition to US side. And they started building, let's say, technology hub in India and stuff.
Ah, okay.
So that was a slightly later stage.
Right. So initially it was just still coming out from Berlin.
Yeah.
So how was that journey? How long were you in Groupon for?
For 4 years.
Okay.
So until 2015. So I think seen through, so the 2011 was pretty much just scaling up through. So we built from 0 to about 10 million ringgit a month in Malaysia in that 2011 itself. And then
Sorry, rewind that. So within a year, you were doing from 0 deals to
0 ringgit to about 10 million ringgit sales a month.
a month. Wow.
So that was in 2011.
Hmm.
And then after that, we move on to, so we got a chance to turn around Taiwan. So late 2011, we went to Taiwan. Me and Joe, two jokers, went over there and went to the team. And we got a chance to turn around and grow Taiwan.
So when you say turn around, meaning what? Was there a Groupon already not doing well, or
yes.
there was no Groupon?
So Groupon acquired from the Taiwanese founders. And the Taiwanese founders were, in a way, checking out to try to build their own new startup. So we took it over and basically turned it around. At the time, we took it when it was losing quite a bit of money at the time. We got it to profitable in 6 months.
Wow.
So good news, profitable.
Yeah.
Bad news is basically the global promoted us to take care of Southeast Asia and India.
Okay. So are you saying that in the region, Malaysia was the first market for Groupon?
No. So there were multiple markets all running everything, but each was running separately.
Okay.
So then the Taiwan was the first time where a country went to another country to run it.
Okay. So
and
that
then,
was so you guys must have been doing pretty well for Malaysia for them to decide, hey, you know what, take care of Taiwan also.
Yeah, I think that was one case, but I think the other case also we never asked for anything. So when they say go Taiwan, we said okay. And we go.
You wouldn't complain, okay.
Yeah, so we didn't really go and ask and say, oh, should we do this? Should we do that? What should we get? We didn't ask anything.
Yeah.
We went on. And middle of 2012, that's when we got a Southeast Asia India role. Early 2013, we got a chance to do Japan, Korea.
Wow.
And then middle of 2013, that's when we got to do Asia Pacific. So that Joe was the head of APAC. I run the operations for Asia Pacific.
That's really fast scaling up in the last, within 3 years, right? 11, 12, 13, 14. Suddenly now you're APAC.
Yeah, so we were lucky. I think basically right place at right time and got a few things done right and got a chance to did it. So for almost 2 years, 2013, mid 2013 till end of Q1 2015, we were doing APAC. So that was 12 countries, more than $1 billion sales, 3,000 employees.
At that point, was Groupon still on a climbing trajectory, or has it started to plateau a little bit?
Groupon was listed end of 2011. I think 2012 was still doing fine, and then 2013 started tapering off. 14 also slowed down already. So I think 13, 14 is already sort of at a global basis is quite flat already.
So why do you think that was? What happened to the business of Groupon?
Yeah, so I think one is that the sexiness of the business model gets less. I think initially was people were talking about, oh, today let's all go and buy these deals. And I think as you get more deals running and running for a longer period of time, people lost that special uniqueness. So I think that's one piece of that. And I think the second is, I think the iteration of the models. I think we at that time was not able to really iterate the model that much.
Okay. Were there any other competitors per se, or was it just the customers were just changing behavior?
Yeah, so I think that the whole market globally, I think generally, especially in 2013, 2014, I think most were flat at best. So there were a few players, whether here or regionally, but I think no one has really grown, including Groupon.
So the market itself was slowing down.
Yeah, so I think generally I think it grew from nothing to decent size,
to where it was,
and then it couldn't break through.
Okay. So then 2015?
So 2015, YOLO came. YOLO really fun, so decided to quit.
Okay.
I mean, it's pretty scary. I mean, I didn't dare to tell my parents earlier.
But what was the trigger? You cannot just wake up suddenly in 2015 and say, okay lah, I'm going to jump.
Yeah. So I think for myself, I got a couple of job offers. So I basically told Joe that, hey, I got a couple of job offers, maybe want to explore. And then I think after that, he called me back and said, hey, maybe we should build a business together.
Okay.
And I think that's sort of the trigger point, and we went on that.
Right.
So, and to be honest, I mean, Joel has built several businesses. For me, it's my first time.
Right.
So it was pretty...
Although you did see it firsthand, right? Of how what the journey was like.
Seen it, yeah, but I have never been... Because even when Groupon, when I joined, was already solid to Groupon.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's no longer at a day zero kind of thing.
Correct. Okay.
Yeah, so that was when in 2015 we decided to went on and build this.
Build what?
K-Fit at the time first.
Okay.
So we got a 1 year non-compete against Groupon. So we did K-Fit for 1 year.
So K-Fit is the network of gyms that people can...
Fitness,
yeah. Right? Yeah.
Yeah, I know K-Fit and me doesn't work that well.
I didn't say anything,
Yeah, they call me K-Fat, unfortunately.
That's honest of you.
So, so
Why you were not using your own packages? Is it what?
I did
Come on, man.
one class.
Well, you were busy growing the business, right?
I
that's what it
tried
was.
to go gym, and then my stamina not good enough.
Okay.
So, but when we moved to Fave about food, I think I got a PhD.
There you go. You found something that really aligned to yourself.
I know how to
right?
eat.
Yeah. Sorry, so let's go back to K-Fit. So, how was that? That was a rather short
So I
stint.
think 2015 that time. So eventually when we built Fave, it was just a conversion of the change of company name. So it's still the same company. But I think on the K-Fit journey, that 1 year plus of it, I think that a few timing scenario at that time as well. 2015, I think the startup market for Malaysia and Southeast Asia was booming.
Okay.
I think that time a lot of people get fundings through.
You just come up with any idea and
they get some money, right? I think that was
fine.
and we sort of luckily in a way got into the good timing. So we were able to raise a pre-seed, seed, and Series A within less than a year.
Okay. Did K-Fit join any of the accelerators in town?
No, we didn't.
Or you did it yourself?
So we built it through.
Okay.
And at the time, we also launched multiple countries. We expanded to 8 countries, which turned out that we actually failed in a bunch of those countries as well.
Okay.
So that time we launched in Malaysia, Singapore, Philippines, Hong Kong, Taiwan, Korea, Australia, New Zealand.
So remind me the model for K-Fit.
So basically is that you buy a monthly pass. So let's say Malaysia is 139 ringgit. You can go exercise 10 times in a month at options of 600 locations.
Right. And different types of brands of gyms.
Yeah, different brands. So basically a lot more classes. So yoga. And a lot of customers actually are not the people who really want to train muscle.
Right.
Actually, people use it for leisure, social, dating.
For dating? Okay, that's a new one.
So you go to this class to do yoga, then you go next class to do salsa, then you go next class to do Zumba.
Okay.
So people go there to meet and mingle.
To mingle.
And also sometimes couples went together.
Right.
As well as part of their dating.
Right.
Because it works for people who want a variety. Right? So because if you have a specific one place, then you sign on the gym directly.
So I assume your main market at that time was Malaysia for K-Fit.
So actually Hong Kong was the biggest market.
Okay.
And then after that, Singapore. Malaysia was actually quite small. And maybe because I think Malaysians, we don't like to exercise as much. So let's say if one habit that you look at it is like in Singapore and Hong Kong, especially like Hong Kong, early morning, 6, 7 o'clock, people go exercise.
Right.
And Singapore, Hong Kong, people also exercise at lunchtime. I think Malaysia is only evening. Early morning, very few.
Yeah.
Lunchtime, even fewer.
In the morning, you're queuing for the nasi lemak.
Yeah.
Lunchtime, forget about skipping lunch, right?
Yeah.
Of course, you got to go eat somewhere.
Yeah. So that segment was not that big. And I think one thing that we observed at that time as well is that in Malaysia, people go exercise in between the work and the home. So like places like Bangsa, Hatamas, Uptown, let's say for Klang Valley wise, is where the popular place.
Right.
Whereas in Singapore, people exercise at CBD.
In the city itself.
The city
where
itself.
they work. Okay.
Right. And then at that time we have Australia. Australia people actually exercise near where they stay. At maybe 5, 6 o'clock.
Even earlier.
Yeah. So they go home early and they go exercise. So there's a lot more work-life balance there.
So what was your role at K-Fit?
So co-founder as well, and I think basically running the operations day to day.
Okay.
So I think pretty much similar in that sense.
To when you were in Groupon.
Yeah. So I think that for K-Fit, the only thing is our own company, so we need to fundraise.
Right.
And then like products, we need to basically build our own product technology. So basically end to end.
Was there such a model outside?
So K-Fit, there was a model called ClassPass in US. So similar to that model.
Okay.
Yeah, we did a few tweakings of that model. I think ClassPass at that time was pretty much like a buffet. You pay a month, you go as many classes.
Right.
They have since evolved and pivot their model slightly as well. So that time we started with that and then eventually became 10 class a month.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, because or else the cost structure doesn't fully work because there'll be people like Kylie at one point he went 60 class.
Okay.
Right?
Wow,
VC,
such a
good life,
gym
right?
rat, yeah.
Morning, evening. So there are people who go 60 times. And I think that time when because we pay
But
per class.
it'll balance out to the people like you who only went once and then that's it, right?
But then the key is that to the restaurant, to the gym, we pay per class, right?
Still thinking about restaurants.
Yeah, can't get away from that. No choice.
Okay. So let's move on very quickly then. So K-Fit. So what happened towards the end of K-Fit?
So we eventually when in the middle of 2016 we extended into Fave. So we launched Fave. We still keep K-Fit K-Fit on a sort of back burner and just keep it running, but running it with very little bandwidth or stuff, right?
But what about all the agreements with all the different gyms?
Continue to run.
So they continue.
So continue to run at the time. We only shut it down in Q3 last year.
Oh, okay.
So we let it run, let it for 3 years, and for maybe close to left like 1-2 staff running it for most of the time, and eventually got no one running it.
So at the height of K-Fit, how many customers did you guys have? How many subscriptions did you have?
So I think it was 5 to 10,000. So it's not a lot.
Okay, quite small.
Yeah.
And to think
as
it's
a
in
monthly
8
paying
different
customer,
countries,
yeah.
right?
So because it's a niche product as well.
I guess.
Yeah. So if you,
especially in Malaysia.
so even if you look at it today per gym, the monthly subscribers that go in there is actually in the couple hundreds, few hundreds. Because if you look at each gym, every time you go to any gym to exercise, you only see maybe 5, 10, 20 people.
Yeah.
And it's always the same people. So actually each gym, the membership is actually not a whole lot. And usually if a gym membership, one thing that people learn as well is that at the start of the year when New Year resolution happen, everyone sign up.
Yeah.
And then each month it goes, people
Goes
start
down,
drop off.
Yeah. And it is based on monthly, so you can just buy a month. And then
For us, it's based on month, but if you do a lot of traditional gym, people actually have to
block for a year and things like that,
yeah.
right? So I guess that was one of the appeal to K-Fit, right? Oh, I don't need to block for a whole year. I'll just get a month.
And can cancel any day.
Yeah, and which people did, unfortunately, right?
Yeah, so sort of building up that part, right? Yeah.
Okay. So then came the Fave adventure. How did that happen?
So as we that time want to soft launch Fave in Q3 of 2016, at the same time Groupon came to us and they want to shut down Indonesia. So we got a chance to acquire Indonesia. And I think for a bunch of us, we have never bought a company. Buying company sounds fun.
Right.
So we went on in it and basically went on to acquire the business. So I think the initial business was the first one that we did.
But where did you get the funding from to buy the company?
Yeah, so we have at the time we already have a bunch of investors at the Series A, and then also it was a bunch of stock swap as well, plus some of the cash, right?
Okay.
So we did that through, and as we did that, we got a hang. So at the time, I still remember after we bought the Groupon in Indonesia first, I brought back my Groupon old shirt that was in my cupboard, back to wearing it and start running it for a couple months.
Yeah.
And then after that, we got a chance to acquire Groupon Malaysia. So I think that was sort of the second installations after the Indonesia. Then we thought, okay, I think the Malaysia one was partly logical, but a little bit of sentimental as well.
But hang on, when you left Groupon to start K-Fit, so what happened to Groupon?
So for Groupon at that time, they decided that I think the Asia leadership was not directly fully replaced. So they have a head of rest of the world sitting in Brazil running it, and a few others that was managed from region. And then I think the one part of it is also that I think the country leadership, I think some of the countries took some time before they replace it. And let's say Malaysia, Indonesia, the country head was from Europe as well.
Okay, I want to get back into Groupon in a minute, but let's go back to Fave.
Yeah.
So during K-Fit, right, towards the end of K-Fit, now how did Fave come up as an idea first of all? How was it born?
Yeah, I think that was something that we knew how to do. Like Joe, myself, and a bunch of other teams. Let's say like AP who runs Singapore and a few others. I think we were ex-Groupon, right? So actually we have quite a lot of us from Groupon that came together. So I think that was an extension of it. So I think from fitness, we knew that eventually people eat a lot more, people go massage more and everything. So we basically built on that. But we also knew what Groupon model works well and what Groupon model doesn't work well. Like Groupon model works well to bring a lot of new customers, but may not be the best to retain customers. So I think that's sort of some of the aspects that we came across.
Okay. So it was in parallel in a way. So you had K-Fit, which you kind of let go quietly, right?
So sort of K-Fit, we have we left a few people running it, gradually trimmed down and moved the people across to run this.
Okay. Then came 2016, came Groupon Indonesia.
Yeah, so it was about the same time. So I think we soft launched Fave in July 2016. We acquired Groupon Indonesia in August 2016.
So in August 2016, when you guys acquired Groupon Indonesia, you guys have nothing to do with Groupon in Malaysia?
No.
Okay,
we were competitor.
Although it's a different country. So
whereas in Malaysia, we are Fave Malaysia and Groupon Malaysia is competitor.
Okay. So that's a bizarre dynamics, right?
Yeah.
So
we acquired that.
Right.
That. So we didn't buy the Groupon brand. We got a short period of using the brand, but we actually didn't buy the brand. We didn't buy the platform.
Okay. Right. So let's go back to Fave. So when you say you soft launch, right? So what was the model for Fave in day one? What was it like?
So the day one was basically quite like Groupon.
Okay.
So basically a deal, and people buy the deal and go redeem. So it's very Groupon.
At that point, it wasn't digitizing the retail
Not yet.
industry lah.
I think that was the first bit to get the customers
Okay.
and merchants.
So you literally went out to market against the guys that you worked with a few years before that lah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we did that, and I think that within a couple months after Indonesia, they let go Malaysia to us, and then after a few months, they let go Singapore to us.
Okay.
So once we got these three, the key part will be to how do you migrate and bring into one platform.
So right now, from a branding standpoint, it was two different things. There's Fave in Malaysia and then Groupon in Indonesia.
So
and Singapore.
so when we acquired, there's a press release Fave acquired Groupon, but in this region, but we haven't, and then it took 2-3 months, depends on the country, to basically migrate every customer merchant into the Fave platform.
Okay.
So the migration took place in Q1, Q2 2017.
Right.
So we complete everything by May 2017, whereas a single brand Fave.
Right.
And then
so how many merchants did you have at that point when you?
I think it's 6,000-7,000 if I don't remember wrongly.
In Malaysia.
Regionally.
Oh, regionally. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So now you had. I'm trying to follow the story.
Yeah.
So you were running Groupon in Indonesia and Singapore.
And Malaysia.
You've taken Malaysia as well. And from a branding wise, at that point, there is still... Okay, Fave had bought Groupon, so then you were migrating it, especially in Malaysia anyway, because Fave was only running in Malaysia, right? Was there already in Indonesia and Singapore?
Singapore also, but not in Indonesia.
Okay.
So Indonesia was a pure crossover.
Right. Okay, so then you were migrating it all to
so then there was by May when we fully migrated. And I remember that back then we actually, after we brought the team to Langkawi 1 week after the order migration done, it's like, okay, now what's next? And I think it was actually pretty tough and like for us to think about, okay, now we knew the big picture direction, but how is it we're going to drive across, right?
So what was the big picture direction at that point?
I think we knew that we want to serve the SME merchants. How exactly going to build it? I think what's the layering and building through. I think that's the whole journey process.
And this is serving them beyond just getting cheap deals from these merchants lah, and finding customers for it, right?
Yeah. So true. So I think then we knew that the cheap deals and getting the new customers may not be the full solution. So then in Q3 2017, that's when we soft launched Fave Pay. So we test drive Fave Pay to how to get people to pay full price at the first time, get a cashback for next visit, and the cashback only used back at the same place, which is different from the e-wallet, because e-wallet is always the cashback you will use throughout the whole e-wallet. Right. Ours is we think from the merchant first, so it's to be used back for the same merchant.
And for some places, it's the same merchant even down to the same branch, right?
Yeah, so most of the places by brand, selected one where they have different franchise or whatnot, that it may go down to by branch.
Okay.
Yeah, but I would say predominantly it's by brand.
But if you look at it from 2017, I guess at that point, the wallet play was heating up lah.
Just
starting, right? Did you find there were confusion in the market in terms of what's Fave now compared to the other wallets at that time?
I think even until today, there's still a lot of people thinking that we're a wallet. Because I think one thing was that we call our loyalty product Fave Pay before the wallets all put their word pay next to their name.
Yeah.
So I think that was one of the things but then it's too costly to rebrand and people already stick to the name of Fave Pay. So, and also because people talk about e-wallets, having the word Fave Pay get people to continue to talk about us.
Right.
So it was okay, so we decided to continue with it.
So what is the ideal scenario from a customer standpoint, right? Who has to decide on, do I get Fave Pay? Do I get one of the wallets? Do I use, Maybank?
Yeah.
So what is the ideal scenario for you?
Yeah. So I think if you today are going to go to a merchant and you have a high chance that you go back to that place, I think Fave Pay generally offer the best rewards.
Okay.
Because it's the rewards.
Give me a merchant for example.
So I think that let's take most of the let's say let's say A&W. I can't remember how many percent, but let's say take A&W.
Say A&W.
Yeah,
and,
let's say,
and I am a regular A&W
Yeah.
customer.
yeah. So let's say like A&W at 5% cashback,
Hmm.
which means that each time you go back A&W, you get a 5% cashback.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how would that be different to if A&W tied up with some other wallet?
Yeah.
They say, hey, we're going to give you a 10% discount if you go pay with that wallet.
So all the e-wallets, if they do a 10% discount, the 10% can be used, the amount that you earn can be used at anywhere else, not just at A&W.
Yeah.
Whereas for...
Which is great for a customer though, isn't it?
Yeah, but we start from merchant first thinking.
Okay.
So which means for the merchants to retain back the customer. So, and because for the wallet, all the wallets, the rest, because it's across board, generally it would be funded by the wallet themselves.
What do you mean? Or the discounts themselves?
The
discounts.
cash, the discount is funded. Whereas ours is funded by the merchant to be used for them. So the way to think about it is that we are basically working the merchant to do their own cashback back to their own store. Where we provide a digital platform. So think of it is like before that they want to do a 10% cashback, they have to issue a paper voucher to them, a customer, and the customer basically take that next time come back, or they try to build a loyalty card, and next time the customer come back with a loyalty card. So we basically digitize that process for all of them.
Right. Okay.
Right. Whereas for wallet, it's basically building from consumer standpoint to enable people to use frequently. So I think both are sort of different model. I think today, if you look at the wallets, if you go online, you'll read out about like the cashback or rewards became less and less. Because the wallets initially put a lot of rewards to get people to sign on.
They were buying a lot of customers essentially.
After
the
that,
wallets.
generally, most of the wallets is very little rewards, or whether shake rewards or the rewards. A lot of time you actually paid almost full price. Whereas for ours, because by merchant, this continue to have. So whereas almost 100% transactions have a cashback for FavePay.
So for the merchants who have a partnership with you, right?
Yes.
Okay, two questions come to mind. Number one is, how far back in their operations does Fave's platform help them? Okay, so let's park that for a while.
Yeah.
But more importantly for me is, as a merchant that I'm using FavePay, what is that merchant's relationship with all the other wallets that I have to serve? Is it complementary? Is it in competition? How does it work?
I think it's, in a way, I would say complementary. I think generally, if you think of it like credit cards, there are multiple brands of credit cards, right? So, and I think today the bigger parts is a lot of shops, there are still a lot of people using cash. I think cash component is still there. And after that, there is a credit card component still there. So I won't call it like, so today I think there are very few places where the shops is almost fully e-wallets,
right,
or equivalent like us, right? So I think that is still not at anywhere near saturation.
Okay.
So I think that's one. And I think what we found out, I think, is that anyone that use a couple of digital platforms, whether e-wallets or like us or any of those, the likelihood will use more platforms. Very rare you meet someone that say, okay, I am only use one, I'm loyal to one.
Yeah.
Most customers will use multiple. I go to place A, I will use this. Place B, I will use that.
And that's really driven by the discounts and the rebates that all the different wallets are offering.
Yeah, so I think that, and I think generally what we notice is that for, let's say take Maybank, where Maybank do 20% rewards at the selected outlets. So Maybank may have tens of thousands, 100,000 outlets, but a couple hundred outlets may have a discount significant. So at that 100 outlets, people use Maybank. But when there is no rewards, a lot of time the customer will go back to Fave.
Yeah.
So basically it depends on where it is. So whereas for FavePay, generally if you talk to the shops, it's generally more steady, the transactions. Whereas the e-wallets where they do more subsidy, it will be spike up, spike down. Let's say Durian.
Depending on campaigns.
Campaigns, yeah. So it's a lot more campaign driven. Whereas we are not as campaign driven.
Okay, so let's take this journey from your customer standpoint, which is the merchants, right?
Yeah.
So here I have 3 restaurants.
Okay.
Right? So my choices are, okay, right now I have a till where I take cash, right? And probably I have a partner with Maybank and they can take the credit cards, right? Oh, now I want to go into this e-wallet thing, right?
Yeah.
So I could call up Touch and Go, I could call up Boost, and I could call all those guys, right? So why should I call up Fave?
Yeah. So I think like few things that going, I think one would be that accepting across board, like credit card payments. So one, they can go sign terminal on Maybank. Then it's digital, like basically using mobile app itself to pay for credit card itself.
Yeah.
So today we charge 1% credit card fee. So for the small outlets, let's say 3 outlets, likelihood today they go to any terminal, they will pay more than 1%.
Yeah.
Right? Of course, the big chain, maybe they'll get below 1%.
Yes, less.
So whereas we basically serve the across board.
Okay.
So I think that's one. Like let's say if you want to accept AirAsia points, you want to accept online bankings. So basically we accept multiple payment methods.
So it's almost like you're an aggregator lah to
In that
solve all
sense.
of my payment channels. Yeah.
And today we also do deals. So basically providing like more Groupon kind of deals. Today those deals also feature on Boost, also feature on AirAsia Big Deals.
Okay.
So those were actually from us, right?
So operationally, what do I get if I sign up with Fave?
Yeah, so you get one is that the payment acceptance and reconciliation. So let's say your Boost deals or AirAsia deals will all pay you directly. If you want to Alipay, we can also do it for you.
Okay.
So we basically, with a tick box, we basically can provide the Alipay. So that's on that part. And then for Fave Pay is a cashback. So they basically be able to drive the customer return. And basically we have, I think some of the features that only us have is return back to the same shop. You can set the cashback, different cashback at different hour. We serve off peak, on peak.
And all these settings is something that I can do myself lah, as a restaurant owner.
Yeah, you can do it yourself or you can ping us to update lah.
Okay.
And then the other one will be digital gift cards. The one that like Starbucks gift cards. So today, customers can reload 50 ringgit into Auntie N's.
Yeah.
And basically spend the 50 ringgit within Auntie N. So basically any brands can create their own gift cards.
Okay.
Through us.
Okay.
We do ratings and reviews. So for every customers, basically after each time they go, they rate. And basically if you run 3 outlets, you will know that your outlet A rating could be 4.2. Outlets C will be 4.8. So that's
and all these ratings are from the
actual paying as well.
Fave app lah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we also build analytics. So every month we also build using machine learning, build up analytics on the business. So which payment method customer use, which time, which day customers are more frequent in their shops. So basically the heat map through basically showing the new customer versus repeat customer, benchmark against other cafes in your in the same category or the same locations and demographics and everything. So basically it's analyzing 20-30 slides. So the way we think of it is, think of what a big chain, the Starbucks, the McDonald's, those people can have. They have analysts analyze. We basically create for them.
Right.
So a lot of the things is basically replicating what a big chain have for all these people.
And how do you charge the merchants?
So for analytics, it's free. So basically we charge by transactions.
Okay.
So, and then like we also do table ordering where you can scan and digitally have your menu on the app and you can basically just order.
Right.
Yeah, and then
so I've seen some of those around here in Bangsa, right? Like Walk It, for example, the menus all.
Yeah, and also financing, we work with people like Maybank, like Grab Financials, funding societies to basically offering lending loans to the SME as well. Basically, they get loans based on their transactions on Fave.
Okay.
So basically providing sort of a lot of those features are within. Of course, there are a couple of features. Let's say lending. I think some of the e-wallets are also delving into that.
So how many merchants are on the Fave platform right now?
Today, regionally, is about 35,000.
Okay.
Malaysia, I think it's about 15,000.
Wow. So that's a lot bigger than the days of KFit or even Groupon lah.
Yeah. But I guess long way to go. I think there's still lots of businesses that not yet digitized.
So for the more successful merchants, how many percent of their transactions are on Fave Pay compared to the other more traditional ways of payments?
Yeah, so I think different restaurants or different outlets would be. I think that 50-60% is quite normal from some places that we heard.
Right.
Yeah,
is that considered? Oh, so that's kind of average.
Considered, I would say above very high. I think of course there are some that's 10-20%, 22%. So I think generally across board, digital, I think today for most brands, digital will be 20-50% of their total business.
Right.
Unless they push digital very strongly.
Yeah.
Like Singapore, we got one of the bar where they don't no longer accept any other payment on any way of ordering except for scanning the QR on digital menu and we just order from Fave.
Okay, so for that Singapore company, it's 100% all using Fave. But you're saying that for most, it's been between 20-50% usage of Fave digital, right?
Fave and digital.
Okay. But how much of the how much of the digital transactions would you know that is not on Fave?
Yeah, I think it really depends on outlets as well. I think that for different outlets and different location as well, I think different platforms are stronger at different places. So I think like let's say in core PJ KL area, I think we are pretty strong. I think let's say that in let's say more suburb, we are not as strong in some of the area. Like in Penang, we are pretty dominant. So I think it really depends on the location as well. I think that sort of split. I think different platform has a different areas that they are strong. Their strength is.
So it's fairly new, I guess. It's only been for the last few years, right? When you started rolling this out. Do you see a good increase in usage for Fave or any other digital wallets?
Yeah, I think every platform is growing month on month. I think generally, I think everyone grow multiple times year on year. So I think generally the top few platforms, I think everyone is growing.
Right.
It's just how far it grow, and I think good is I think everyone growing, and I think the other thing is that good is that we are all just scratching the surface of whole economy.
Okay, I was asking Nizam from Touch and Go last week. That yes, there is a lot of growth, but is it because all the platforms and wallets are buying customers with all these discounts? And when the discount stops, the usage stops as well. What do you think?
Yeah, I think, yes, there are some of the platform will be facing that. And I think that's why we consciously that we do not do that. So I think like for us, the cashbacks are given by the merchants to be used at their platforms, at their outlets, right? So which means that those cashback will continue, and it's not like a temporary one. Whereas I think for those that who use a huge incentive to acquire new customers, I think that will have seen this spike and decline.
Okay, now let's go into your platform a little bit, right? So you mentioned before, when you guys left KFit, then you set up Fave. And then when you got Groupon, it was about migrating it to your platform.
Yeah.
So talk a little bit about this platform. Is it in-house? Did you guys have a bunch of developers? How was that journey?
Yeah. So for platform, we built everything in-house. So today we have, I think, 50 odds engineers with about another 10 more people also from the product side, and then a few more people on the product design.
Okay. So how big is Fave in total?
So total is about 350 headcount.
Okay.
Regionally.
So about 60 or 50 to 60 of them doing the products and the platform.
Yeah, so about 20% or so. So I think that's sort of where we built. And I think, of course, the product engineering team, some of them coming from overseas, then they basically work, but they're all based in KL.
So that would have been different. What I mean by that is from your journey from Groupon, where the platform was actually coming from Groupon. Right? Then KFit, did you guys build KFit yourselves?
So KFit and Fave, we both built ourselves.
Okay, so that was your start of playing with your own technology.
Yeah, and I think like one interesting fun fact is that our CTO, whether for KFit or Fave, Azumi, he was the CTO that built Group Small that Joel sold it to Groupon.
Okay. So it stuck around with you guys.
So we know each other for many years.
Okay. He's still there with you guys in Fave. Okay. So you build out. So was it difficult to find, the talent to build this, the platform for Fave?
Yeah, I think that hiring tech talents, of course, there's challenges, but I think there's a good bunch of people that join us. I think Azumi and the tech team are constantly on the lookout for great talents, whether locally or internationally for that.
Okay. So speaking of internationally, so Fave itself operationally, where are you guys in the region?
So right now we're operating about 35 cities in Malaysia, Singapore, Indonesia. So far those are the 3 countries that we are at.
Okay. So it's interesting that you mentioned by cities, right? So which are the cities which are the big ones for you?
So I think the capital and then Penang is huge for us. So I think those are the top few for us. And of course, subsequently, I think, let's say within Malaysia will be Ipoh, JB, KK, Kuching.
Okay.
So I think those are the next few, right? Followed by Melaka, etc. So I think we are in all states in Malaysia, although there are some states are more than the others, right?
So when it comes to scaling up standpoint, is that the strategy to keep going to where the big cities are, or are you going to venture into the more rural areas, give them a bit of the taste of this good service?
So I think we're constantly building into more locations, more suburb, more areas as well. So I think there's step by step into that. Let's say like if you take Penang State, then I think most part of the Penang State is already in. Even the smaller town, like where I'm from, Nibong Tebal, there are a few places there.
Shout out to Nibong Tebal.
Yeah. So I think like there are multiple locations, but do we have a perfect coverage at all the small area? To be honest, not yet.
Okay. And outside Malaysia?
So Singapore, of course, is an island state, so pretty much across board. Indonesia, we are so far in the major cities only: Jakarta, Bandung, Surabaya, Jogja, Bali, and Medan.
Okay.
And I
There's
think
quite a few large ones already.
But within those, there's still a lot more room to build. Indonesia, we are still at the deals business. We are basically launching Fave Pay soon.
Oh, I see. So Fave Pay is only in Malaysia and Singapore?
Yeah, so far.
Okay. So Indonesia is still the Groupon model, I feel like.
Yeah.
So when are you guys going to do Fave Pay in Indonesia?
In the coming weeks.
Ah, cool.
Yeah.
So that's we got to watch out for that.
Yeah. So I think we will soft launch it, and then I think every market will be different. So I think for us also is to learn the market, to know the maturity of the market, what kind of merchant needs, consumer needs, and we'll pilot through and then take from there.
The platform, I'm assuming, comes from Malaysia. That's been exported out over there.
Yeah, we built from here. Yeah.
Okay. What about the user app? Is that something that as a customer I can use the same Fave app across the different countries?
Yes. Yeah. So I think it will auto detect. So I think as long as your location for your phone is turned on, if I open an app right now in Jakarta, it will auto detect that I'm in Jakarta, and then basically it will prompt me to basically press a button to confirm that I go to Jakarta. Yeah, so basically the same app is usable across. Of course, the payment method differs by country. So let's say in Malaysia, you can use Boost, Maybank to you, etc. Whereas let's say in Singapore, you use GrabPay.
Right.
Indonesia, you use OVO, BCA, and all those things.
I'm assuming GrabPay you'll be able to use from all the 3 countries.
So far, we have only turned on for Singapore.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not even here in Malaysia?
Malaysia, not yet.
Okay.
Coming soon, hopefully.
Okay, cool. So I guess in terms of relationship, back to the question of between you guys and the wallets.
Yeah.
Actually, then you guys are partners, as far as you're concerned, right?
Yeah, so actually we work with quite a lot of wallets. I think like basically, and actually working with wallets actually helping us to save costs. Because the wallets today, as they are competing, they are charging lower rate than the credit cards.
Right.
So for us, with a customer using a wallet, assuming that the conversion rate towards payment is the same, wallets usually is way lower cost for us than a credit card transaction.
Okay. I wanted to go back into the regional play. So in Jakarta, there's a lot of room to grow. So you mentioned before the 350 resources that you have. Is that across the 3 countries?
Yes.
Okay. And how big and how is the growth in Indonesia?
Yeah, so we have about 80 people. I think that I have just recently spent most of my time in Indonesia myself. So I've been doing the weekly trip Jakarta.
Right.
And I'm actually going there tomorrow morning as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think we sort of building up the foundation of the team. There's still a lot more groundwork need to build and learning the market, building through. Yeah, so I think Indonesia, the potential is definitely big. The question is that how do we really understand the market to serve the right product services to the market? So I think that Indonesia will be launching a couple of products that we have here, and then we'll test the market, and then we'll scale from there.
So out of the total, I think you mentioned about 35,000 customers that you have right now.
Merchants,
right?
yeah.
Merchants, yeah. So how many do you have in Jakarta?
About 7,000.
Okay, very small still compared to, I guess, relative to the country, right?
Yeah, so I think the Indonesia, you can easily 50x it.
Yeah.
Yeah, locations.
So is that the goal? 50x by 2020?
I don't know whether I think I won't want to say that we straight away aim for 50x, because I think for us a lot of time a new market is really understand the market. So if we get a lot more stronger product market fit for the new products, yes, definitely. But the insanity is putting a lot of the location and everything, and now we don't bring value. Yeah, so what we are building, key I think for us, especially the first few months in Indonesia, will be to really understand what sticks with the customer, what helps the merchants, what the dynamics shift between there and Singapore and Malaysia.
So far, what do you see different between the 3 customers? And when I say customers here, it's 2, right? Both your merchants and also the customers. Yeah. Difference between the 3 countries.
Yeah, so I think in Indonesia, we haven't launched the other products, so I mean a bit too early to know exactly. But I think in terms of serving, talking to the merchants and everything, talking to them, I think the similarity across all the countries, I think that They all wanted to grow their business. I think
Okay.
I think those are similar. I think the difference would be that I think the adoption of technology. I think Indonesia, in terms of e-wallet, is actually more advanced than the other countries. But in terms of other technology, Indonesia is behind.
When you say more advanced, meaning is it
A lot more
higher
users.
concentration? Okay.
So I think there are more than 100 million Indonesians already using e-wallets there.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think, and we are working with OVO, one of the basically the top e-wallet platform.
And I was there a couple of months ago, and I think the buying of customers through discounts and all that are even more aggressive over there, right?
Yeah, at one point it was crazy. I think right now they have toned down quite a bit.
Okay. I guess the money's being spent already, right?
Yeah,
So
and I think that's why we're only going to launch now rather than earlier. So we were watching the show and deciding that no point to launch at earlier, because we knew that for every $1 we get a much better ROI back then in Malaysia and Singapore.
Okay. In terms of scaling up, so obviously merchant acquisition has always been an expensive activity, right?
Yeah.
Because you need to have the feet on the ground, right, to go and talk to one by one. How do you scale up?
So I think there are a couple aspects. I think one is definitely building tools to help our team to sign up merchants easier, cheap, faster, right? So I think like, how do we make it more convenient for them to fill out the form, whether for the merchant or our team itself? How do we get them to prepare the presentations, right? So getting the data ready. So I think those are some of the parts. And I think that for merchant as well, merchant today can download Favebiz.
Okay.
Favebiz, and basically they can be a merchant immediately on their own.
Right, self-onboarding. Right?
Self-onboarding, yeah. And today we find that a good 20-30% of our merchants actually are self-onboarding.
That's a big chunk. How long ago did you launch the?
Maybe 6-9 months.
Wow, so in 6-9 months, with less than a year, 20-30% is already
the new ones that are already coming from there. Yeah. And I think we see that, I think generally the single outlet, the 1-2 outlets are the ones that are going to use the self-onboarding.
Yeah.
Whereas the big chain likelihood, we still need to have people to serve them.
Right.
And I think as we build on this, it helps our biz dev team to prioritize their time as well. The smaller ones, to get them to self-serve. And I think basically the process is basically pretty straightforward. You download the app, you basically key in a few informations, and basically you're on. Okay. And then basically you can start collecting money from the consumer, but you can only withdraw after you fill up all your regulatory necessary, your registration number, your bank account details, and everything. So it's sort of a 2-step process.
Right, make it seamless for them.
Yeah.
Now, from a customer behavior standpoint, I think we all know that when it comes to using wallets and apps to pay, the different demographics, whether the older ones, it's a bit harder to adopt, right? But what about from a merchant standpoint? Do you find challenges with, older business owners, or actually what is your observation right now from that standpoint?
I think for Malaysia, is a lot of business places, they use foreign workers. I think that's actually the more difficult part of the adoption.
Okay.
Yeah, because when they use foreign workers, a lot of them, they don't want them to use phone, don't want to use anything.
Technology,
because they could get distracted to do other things.
Okay. So in fact, they rather them use cash.
I think they don't want them to be distracted from doing other things. And because their turnover of the employee quite high as well.
Yeah.
So I think that's not generally one part.
Okay.
And of course, I think the other part, unspoken one, is typically businesses that today purely operate on cash and don't go on credit cards.
Right. There are reasons why they do that, right?
Yeah.
So essentially, for taxes and all that.
So that's actually the group that I think if you today go to places, I think today with especially like Malaysia, I think all the platforms have approached pretty much everyone in, let's say, take KL. I think today, if you see them have nothing there and put aside cash only, likelihood they choose not to go on.
Right.
I don't think any of the...
It cannot be any other reason, right?
Yeah, because everyone have already reached out. Of course, if in a small kampong, maybe that no one has reached them yet. But urban, I think is very clear that everyone has been reached.
Okay. And what about, is it similar to in Indonesia and Singapore?
I think that the Singapore less on the tax aspects.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess
everybody's just more open there. You have to do it, right?
Yeah, so I think less on it. And I think Singapore also, they don't use that much foreign workers. So I think the adoption learning is more teaching the local elderly.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's how to make it seamless, easy, so that they feel confident. And I think a lot of time is if one person understood, they train their peers. That will work. Instead of like we go and train every single one of them. I think is how to get their confidence that they won't do it wrongly. I think Indonesia generally is more not because of the platform, but it's just that there are multiple platforms.
Yeah.
So for them to learn multiple tools, multiple process,
that's the
is
challenge.
where the more challenge.
So the owner might want to do it, but the staff that they have will be
it's like 3-4 things, right? They have to learn. Yeah. And I think actually in a consumer front, actually a lot of older ones, while they are harder for them to onboard, once they come on board, they're very loyal. And they just spend a lot more.
Right.
And I think because we are not an e-wallet, one difference is that the limit of the spend, if they use credit card, is the limit of their credit card credit limit. Which means that there are people can buy 50,000, 100,000 ringgit.
Yes.
Versus the e-wallets that you can spend a couple thousand only. So I think that's also another aspect which basically hit the higher limits.
Okay. So if we now look to the future a little bit.
Yeah.
Right? So you guys are going to be launching in Indonesia soon, right? Next couple of weeks. Excited for that. What about other countries? What about other plans? What are you guys going to do?
Yeah, so I think we are observing. I think the rest of the ASEAN countries, I think it's quite obvious. I think Thailand or Philippines, and maybe later on Vietnam, and maybe even further on Myanmar or Cambodia. I think we are observing the markets. We have made some look into it, but we haven't decided to pull trigger to go in.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to say that, for Malaysia, Indonesia, and Singapore, it was the Groupon route, right? When you went into there and you got that base. If you were to go to the other countries, would you again look at acquiring some other similar type of companies?
Yeah, I think those are options. I think that's one route that you can do it. I think through M&A or anything. The other one is, I think, partnering with someone that already have a merchant or consumer base. So someone that have a big merchant base but don't have consumer.
Right.
Or it could be a traditional platforms or traditional players that have 1,000 outlets, 5,000 outlets, 10,000 outlets.
Yeah.
But they have no digital.
Yeah.
Or the other way is people that with a lot of consumers but no merchant side. So I think in the end is if you have one side settled, you can fix the other side easy.
Yeah. So it's one or the other. Yeah.
Yeah. Of course, if you get acquire a platform there to have both sides is possible as well. So I think options are open. I think that we have looked into it some bit, but we haven't really gone like full deep and said let's go on out there on the market.
Okay. I guess the final question would be: so you've now been with them for you've set this up last 4 years now,
4 years,
right? The last long stint you had was with Groupon was about 4 years also.
Yeah.
And then what next for you? Right, it's coming to 4 years. Is it time to exit and start out another new adventure?
No, I guess we are still very early in the journey. So I mean,
not we. I want to know you, Chen Chow. Yeah.
So I think the journey is still a long way to go. To be honest, I think that the local business, if you think of it, I think when we start this journey in 2015 March, actually almost 5 years. Next month is 5 years. Yeah. But I think if you look at it, the journey of it, the first year was K-Fit. Year 2 was acquiring the Groupon subsidiaries and launching Fave. Year 3, after that, we built on Fave Pay. And then after that, we built a bunch of synergy partnerships and then scaling. So I think there's still a lot more to do. I think today, if you look at Southeast Asia, we are just scratching the surface. I think if you look at people like Grab, they are like coming to 8 years. And I think there are a lot of platforms that building through the journey. I think there's still a whole lot of opportunities, whole lot of things to build. I think that today, for merchants and consumers, there's still a long way to do to help them to make it easier, cheaper, better, faster.
Is that your tagline?
I think for me, it's the way how I think of it. Because I think whether for today to get consumer to use or merchant to use, the only way that they will use is this process or this way is easier, cheaper for them, faster for them.
Yeah.
And in essence, with this, become better for them. Right? So for, let's say, speed of transaction, is it faster than paying via cash? Is it faster than paying via credit cards? If it's not, then no one will use it, right? Whether from the waiter standpoint, cashier standpoint, or consumer standpoint. So in the end, is looking at across and how do we be able to take away half a second, 1 second, 2 seconds, this number of steps, how do we make it faster, easier, and at the same time secure?
Yeah.
So I think getting that balance, right, to ensure that that people have peace of mind that it's a secure transaction as well.
Okay. I keep saying it's the last question, but really this is the last question because something just came up to my mind. Just to wrap it up. When you moved to Job Street, you
Yeah.
mentioned that, helping those guys get jobs is very fulfilling for you, right?
Yeah.
Are you getting the similar type of fulfillment now by getting the SMEs, more digitized?
Yeah, definitely. I think like looking at the SMEs, right? I think we started hearing from them opening from one outlet to multiple outlets to building their businesses, and I think supporting them from one feature, one services to multiple services. I think seeing them grown, seeing them build, I think seeing them scaled through. I think that's definitely something that exciting, and I think that if SME is where the heartbeat of the country's economy. I think we talk about ways to transform and digitize. I think SME is the key part. If in the last 10, 15 years, consumers, population at large have transformed how they use technology. Right? Back then, we stand on the roadside to call a cab. Today, we use our phone.
Yep.
Back then, we watch TV. Today, we watch everything on phone. And everything, a lot of things that we do last 10, 15 years is very different. When I back in university, I don't even have a phone or laptop. Today, I don't think a student can imagine don't have that for a day.
Yeah.
Right? So
For a whole day, or I think for an hour.
Yeah. Like consumer side is transformed significantly.
Hmm.
But for businesses side, I think that a lot of the businesses are still running. Like 10 years ago, 20 years ago. And I think that's where the opportunity to really transform and bring it to the next level. And then our goal is one way to think about it is that how do we help any business, any local business, local restaurant, local retailers, local spa to be able to do what the giant MNC chain be able to do. If the big chain can get the credit card transaction at 1%, how can a small one can do? If the big one can use tools like McDonald's has the ordering machine there, how can a small one be able to do that? The big ones can get their financing, how can a small one do it? The big one can have analysts sitting there analyzing all their business, how can a small one do the same thing? The big one can have loyalty card, cash cards, whichever you call it. The small one, how can we be able to do it? So I think the goal is level the playing field, empower everyone, and democratize the whole thing so that the honest and the people, businesses that want to succeed can succeed. I think that's sort of how we look at it. And I think that sort of digitize and transform the whole thing, right?
Okay. Well, that sounds really inspiring. It's like it's really something that sounds that you've got a passion for. So
Thanks.
all the best with Fave, in Indonesia, and also your continued growth here in Singapore. And I will see you again maybe in a couple of months and see how you get on from there.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Amran. Yeah, I really appreciate doing this.
Okay. Thanks, man.
Thank you.